Ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into the world of the Shih Tzu. Ah yes, the Shih Tzu. The dog that looks like it just walked out of a salon appointment every single day. You've seen them, right? With their perfectly coiffed hair, those big eyes that seem to say, "Look at me, I'm fabulous." And a face that could have been sculpted by a team of highly paid artists. They're like the divas of the dog world, always ready for their close-up. The look of luxury. First off, let's talk about the look of a Shih Tzu. These dogs are walking advertisements for the grooming industry. I mean, have you ever seen a Shih Tzu with bad hair? Of course not. Their hair is always on point, like they've got a personal stylist who's spending more time on their fur than most people spend on their own heads. It's like they've got a permanent appointment with the best groomer in town. They're so well groomed that you almost expect them to have their own reality TV show, keeping up with the Shih Tzus. And the length of that hair, it's not just long, it's long enough to start your own carpet business. You've got to wonder if they have to comb it every day, or if they've got a team of elves working around the clock to keep it looking perfect. It's like they're walking around with their own little red carpet, and everyone else is just in the audience, admiring their grandeur. The attitude of a star. Now, let's talk about their attitude. Shih Tzus carry themselves with this air of entitlement. They walk around like they own the place, and you're just lucky to be in their presence. They're like the canine equivalent of a pop star with an ego the size of the moon. You'll see them strut around with their nose in the air as if to say, "I'm too fabulous for this world, and don't you forget it." They're not just dogs, they're royalty. They've got this demeanor that says, "I'm too important to fetch your slippers. Fetch them yourself, peasant." And you know what? We let them get away with it. We feed them, groom them, and clean up after them, all while they look at us like they're doing us a favor. It's like we're their personal staff, and they're the stars of the show. The vocal talents. And don't get me started on their barking. Oh, the barking. Shih Tzus are not shy about using their voices. They've got this high-pitched yapping that could rival a fire alarm. They bark at anything and everything. The mailman, the neighbor's cat, the wind blowing outside, nothing is too insignificant for their barking. It's like they're constantly auditioning for a role in a high-decibel symphony, and they're determined to get first chair. You might think they're just being protective or alert, but let's be honest, they're barking because they're bored, and they want attention. It's not like they're guarding the crown jewels. They're barking because there's a squirrel in the yard, or because they heard a noise that only they can hear. It's as if they believe their incessant barking is the key to maintaining world peace. The foodie frenzy. Now let's talk about food. Shih Tzus are like little food critics. They're not just eating, they're experiencing. They've got this discerning palate that makes them incredibly picky. You try to give them a new type of food, and they'll look at you like you've just served them a plate of poison. They've got this sense of superiority about their diet, as if they're on a gourmet tasting tour every day. And you know what's even better? They have this remarkable ability to turn their nose up at perfectly good food. You'll offer them a treat that's supposed to be their favorite, and they'll sniff it like it's expired, then walk away with this "you failed me again" look. They've got these high-maintenance food preferences that would make a Michelin star chef blush. The training trials. Training a Shih Tzu is like trying to reason with a toddler who has way too much power. They've got this independent streak that makes them incredibly difficult to train. You think you got a handle on them, and then they decide to test you? It's like they're constantly evaluating whether you're worthy of their obedience. They've got this "you're not the boss of me" attitude that makes every training session a challenge. You can spend hours working on commands, and just when you think they've got it, they'll ignore you completely and do their own thing. It's as if they're saying, "Sure, I'll sit when I feel like it, but right now, I've got more important things to do, like staring out the window or napping." It's a constant game of negotiation, and you're always on the losing side. The health hurdles. Let's not forget the health issues. Shih Tzus have a variety of health problems, from breathing issues to eye problems. Their flat faces make them prone to respiratory issues, and their long hair means you've got to keep a close eye on potential infections. It's like owning a classic car. You know it's going to require maintenance, and you're always on the lookout for the next issue to crop up. And grooming is a whole other matter. Their hair isn't just for show, it's a full-time job. You got to keep it clean, tangle-free, and out of their eyes. If you neglect it for even a day, you'll find yourself dealing with a matted mess that looks like a rat's nest. It's like a constant battle against the elements, and you're fighting to keep their appearance as pristine as their ego. the love and loyalty. But here's the kicker. Despite all their quirks, their diva attitude, and their high-maintenance needs, Shih Tzus are incredibly lovable. They've got this way of wrapping you around their little paws. They might be demanding, but they're also incredibly affectionate. They'll snuggle up to you like they're the only thing that matters in the world. And in those moments, you forget about all the barking and training challenges. They've got this unique ability to make you feel special, like you're the center of their universe. Their loyalty might come with a side of attitude, but it's unwavering. They might think they're royalty, but when it comes to showing love, they're all in. So here's to the Shih Tzu, the regal, the demanding, the glamorous little furball that makes us laugh, exasperates us, and ultimately wins our hearts. They might be a handful, but they're a delightful handful, and they remind us that sometimes the smallest dogs have the biggest personalities.